Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 6 of ETF2L, the summer season, aka 45 or whatever. I don't know. I don't keep track. Nobody cares anyway. It's just formalities. We're watching MANDEM versus Forfence tonight. That is the match we're going to be witnessing. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm Cerny. Joining me on the camera is going to be Antimation, and on the microphone is going to be Peter. Hello, friend. How's it going?
Really good. I am very much looking forward to this. MANDEM, they're fighting for the perfect season, and then we have Forfence. They're really trying to make their case for getting into these playoffs. They're looking pretty good so far. I don't know if we can pull up the standings, but Antimation, push those buttons, and then you guys can kind of see what's going on, but you're going to need a bit of guidance because there is a few hitches. Things haven't quite been updated yet on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Forfence have been slacking on their games for a while, so we only got their stats today. They only played like 2 extra matches this week, so they're actually 3rd in the standings right now, but yeah, we're going live already, so we're just gonna watch the game. There's no much pre-talk here. We all we have is that MANDEM are going for the perfect season. They have yet to lose a point, and Forfence are in the running for playoffs. They're pretty solid on it as well. So any points they can sneak off of MANDEM would be crazy, of course, but either way, they're doing pretty good so far. Let's see how this first mid's gonna go on Sunshine straight away, as Brugman tries to go for a deep bomb in, manages to not land on anything except meet Haunts and Choke before getting utterly annihilated himself, and thrusting out Fancy on the other side as well. Pretty decent, I suppose, but that's all they really find, and losing Juxta by the ball, actually had to bleed from Inzo's bobble was all it took there. Now they just gotta keep Pickle safe on the other side. Balder and Inzo trying to do their best at that. Matter of fact, Balder's just gonna try to escort his medic away. And nobody else on Forfence really willing to chase. Che was trying, but couldn't even get to the pack in time in the Valley, so that's gonna be that. A 1 mid for Forfence, but not a clean one by any stretch of the imagination at all.
No, they didn't get the medic. Like, Hans did a lot that mid. He just kind of sat back waiting for soldiers to come back there and then picked him off, and then he jumped in and got the medic with a little help from a Christmas ornament thrown at his general direction here. Higa's going to jump in. He's just surfing on a rock right now, trying not to take any damage. They want to just push everyone out without using Zuber. Actually, they're just going to bypass the mid entirely, go through this flower, see if they can catch anyone out. They are going to pop the Zuber now. Unable to catch the medic so far. Juxta
are you sure about that? Oh, just barely. They do manage to escape, but they were caught in the door. Never mind! No! KN sneaks in a tiny little rocket at the very end and manages to actually get Juxta. You hate to see it if you're rooting for the Frenchies here.
I saved it. You almost said he was okay, and then at the moment you did it, he died. They're going to cap it out.
That's
so
it.
Close.
That's all it took. Yeah, if Juxta had lived there, they would have actually had a nice chance at holding this, but he just couldn't quite avoid all the pressure he was getting on. And there you go, MANDEM with a first quick lead in just over 2 minutes. They already grabbed that first round. That doesn't necessarily spell doom for Forfence just yet, obviously. They gotta find their way into this. I'm sure they'll find their way into this as well. Maybe not losing your medic on the mid this time will certainly help. We'll see, I suppose, if they find a response to that quick little round out of MANDEM, or if they're just going to be kneeling over and dying again. And our second little mid-fight here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to set the soldier up top, and then Han's going to jump in very aggressively. Second soldier comes in here, but Juxta just barely manages to dodge that big rocket. Higgins gets Skyborn, but no one there to really follow up the damage. So both teams, they've lost the soldier, that's it. And now they're just kind of staring at each other on this mid.
Now, there's a bit of fighting on Bell Tower, and KN is going to be on the short end of the stick with that one, but there's so little position for the Frenchies now. They're all just bunched up around the shed, trying to wait for heals. Everybody on the other side, man, they're just trying to rotate around a little bit. They do have Ubers on both sides as well, and Pickles is very willing to just send it in with Balder, seeing if they can maybe get out on top of this exchange. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're doing that, with Inzo dying on the sidelines, and now the Ubers having catered for both teams. It really does look like the short stick is indeed in the hands of MANDEM this time around. Balder gets taken down as well. The rest of the team have backed out to second. They're not going to feel too much pressure. Matter of fact, yeah, I don't know why Forfence took so long to cap, but, well, there they are. They're doing it now, and they're going to be pushing into second as well in the meantime. While Juxta is in a very dangerous position, just barely avoiding everything, while Dwo is basically a sacrificial lamb there, just trying to bait out as much aggression as he could. And there you go. They just about get it. My lord.
Yeah, it's so dangerous to walk through that choke. It's definitely a spam magnet kind of area. I think Balder just gonna run in, just take down Alien immediately. It's not that yet, finally gets taken down, but trading a scout for a demo man, that is definitely worth it. this is one of those times now where these chokes are not going to be secure, but Inso does get picked off on the flank.
Oh,
big jump
no way.
Oh my god, KN.
I saw that. I saw that happening. I saw him jumping over the fence, and I was like, "There's no way he gets Juxta here, right?" But he just gets away with it. He gets Juxta.
Never mind. He just does the exact same thing. Pickles goes down. Dwo comes in with the follow-up. It's just Baldur alive. This has just gone from good to bad to worse. It's just back and forth over and over again. So many players just getting mowed down. Right when one team thinks they have the upper hand, they just immediately get taken down a peg. Juxta, did he go for a crit creek here? I wonder. Looks like
doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
No, he did not. He's sticking to the normal Uber. Fair enough. I mean, you could definitely go for a crit sway, but you're also going to be going up against the sentry on last, considering you're going to be waiting a little bit, so it might not be the worst idea to just stick to your guns here, and, well, you've got a decent situation to try and convert a last push. It's going to be on MANDEM to hold it, and, well, honestly, salvaging that early Juxta kill was probably the only thing that kept them in this, because they basically wiped, so that's the only thing they have going for themselves. Otherwise, this would have been a very different story, so let's see how they can hold this. Let's see how they can try to hang on to this last point, as the Frenchies seem to make their way on the left side. At least a little bit of pressure is being put onto that side. Sentry almost goes down as well, but it does survive for the time being, which is probably not what they'd like to see. Just seems on damage as well. Nevo actually gets caught out, couldn't quite escape either. Now they have to give up all the ground they had in lobby, and obviously MANDEM are going to try to send in a sacrifice of their own, perhaps, if they so desire. They're not that keen. They're not that keen. Okay.
Yeah, it was worth looking at least, but it's quite difficult to do any kind of committal thing when you have an engineer and a pyro, you know, so they just can't really contribute at all. At most, you can send out a pyro to air blast some stickies away, and then maybe a soldier can jump through that, but it's just extremely difficult. Just having a scout that's just threatened running by can actually just cause enough of attention grab that you can actually send those soldiers in, but without it, it's very difficult. You have to be very, very quick. And they're just going to go into the trade.
Okay. Fair enough. That's ambitious, I guess. They aren't really putting Pickles under enough pressure to make him pop, though. That man is elusive. He's a weasel. They're even going to bomb in Alien just to try and get him to finally use that Uber, which he does. Unfortunately, they've lost 3 players on the flip side, just trying to make that happen. And now the Frenchies have to back all the way back out again, just to get out of that situation. And that's going to be second back in the hands of MANDEM immediately as well. Tiny ad for Juxta, but probably not much to write home about unless they want to play extremely aggressively going forward. So we're going to be looking at another bit of MANDEM aggression here, actually. Taking it into mid immediately as well. Alien almost caught out of position, just barely managing to get back to his heels. Now KN is going to be taken down on the other side, and that's enough for MANDEM to hit the brakes and just slow down ever so slightly.
Yeah, KN did a pretty good try there, unfortunately unable to get anything. Haunt is sort of behind, at least he's fighting with a soldier in the flank area. He will be Boostman.
Oh, 99% as well on Juxta there. That's unfortunate. Gets juggled directly into Fancy's sticky spam.
He died on 98% before as well, I believe.
Yeah, that's actually just an unbelievable series of unfortunate events. Fortunately for 4Fans, Pickles does go down. They do manage to clutch out that Pickles frag, so at the very, very least, they keep themselves in this match. So they have a chance here. They definitely have a chance here.
I think he was thinking about it. I think Juxta was about to go, no. Pickles has gone crit streak. We were thinking about it. So he actually spawned on a slight disad, you know, so it does build faster, but he's not going to have a whole lot of advantage to build with. He's just about to overtake him, yeah.
That's all they got. Element of surprise, if they can have Fancy sneak in that crucial crit sticky, that's all they need to turn the tides here. Otherwise, it's free pickings for 4Fans, really, if they just win the fights. So we'll have to see. It's all going to hinge on that crits play. What are they going to do with it? How are they going to try to utilize it? If they build it quicker, they could have maybe even caught Juxta before he even has Uber, but at this point, it's not going to happen. If he sees those stickies coming, he can just right-click in the worst case. And there it is. There's one. Doesn't connect with anything. Unfortunately, there's another. Does not connect with anything. And at this point, it's basically Jover for that crit streak play already. Never mind! There was just a crit sticky still on the ground there. Next to the point. And Juxta walks into it.
Oh my god.
Not even I saw that one, so I honestly can't blame them.
So he's dropped on 98, 99, and 100%. This is not Juxta's day.
Juxta's having a terrible time right now. I don't even know what to say,
pause
man.
timing. What is this pause timing?
That's also very impressive. I mean, this obviously means that it probably forfeits losing a round or something. Maybe somebody dropped out of the server. It's just convenient timing for the pause, considering the round is about to end. Yeah. But yeah, that is incredibly unlucky for Juxta. I mean, again, I can't blame him. Even I didn't see that sticky. I thought it was already gone. I thought it landed on the point and not behind it, but there you go.
Yeah, just where Bushman is standing right now. Detonates the crit stickies that he lobs across the map, right? And hopes to detonate and get someone, right?
Fancy was very patient with that one.
He's different.
Well. It looks like the unpause has happened for a split second, so it probably was somebody disconnecting after this round had concluded, would be my assumption. Either way, we don't have to really talk about how this one's gonna go because it's not looking good for forfeits right now.
No. It's you know, you could have a little bit of hope that maybe they're gonna be able to muscle their way towards Pickles, but no, everyone just evaporates immediately. So we're gonna get a very quick push in here. Can's gonna jump in, take the right side. They're trying to just hold their own left side, but they get just nuked as they come out of spawn. Everyone's taking so much damage. There's nothing they can do. Not even getting out of spawn, and that's gonna be a second cap of just the weirdest crits I've seen in a good while. Just the patient crits.
Yeah. The amount of patience in not immediately deathing as soon as you missed your sticky, actually keeping it around, and then a bit of lack of attention maybe out of the side of forfeits as well, causing you to be able to actually get the frag off of it. Either way, that's in the pause. Next round, next mid-fight, we'll see how this goes. The pause will happen at some point here, so it's probably right after this fight. Maybe somebody did crash. It's gonna be looking like Hans is the first to die, though. A lot of regression out of MANDEM means they're not really giving up much ground because of that, and they're actually gonna trade out Bushman Boulder.
Oh, it's a medic fight. Oh, what's going on? Pickles got 2 saws, and actually now he's trying to get out. Oh, he was juggling the Uber on and off, and that scout just perfectly timed, and Nevo takes him down. But I don't know how that situation happened. How this is not Juxta's game. I think this pause is just Juxta throwing his computer out the window. I'll be honest with you.
This is very possible. Well, who knows what happened there, but yeah, that's where the pause was, right here after the mid-fight. It does look like forfeits did win it again, though, so they're winning these mid-fights. They're just not winning them convincingly enough so far, which is causing them a bit of dismay. But maybe they got their talks in, they got their little maybe tactical pause, had the team talk, now they're ready, readjusted for the strategy, and, well, we'll see if it did them any favors, I suppose, going forward.
Offense have been pretty decent so far this game. Yeah. It's just they're completely in the game, and then a bad push or a bad thing happens, and then they get rolled all the way.
One small mistake, and it just ruins everything.
All it takes, and that's a sign of a good team. That MANDEM, has shown themselves to be this season. Sometimes it's just extremely unforgiving. That's the way it works. But offense, they're not looking bad, so to speak, at all. They're completely in the game.
They just gotta tighten up those leaks, the small few things they have going wrong, and they are gonna be right back in this. Obviously, MANDEM, very happy to be sitting on a 2-round lead already. Trying to go in for a little bit of a bump with distraction from Bushman on the other side. Matter of fact, the ladder may very well die if he's not careful. He does just about narrowly escape for the time being, and he will ever so live. Yeah, Inzo tried to chase, he's gonna get chased back instead, and Nevo just about lives as well. As the bunkers are from Bushman, he does get onto the combo, but does not get the crucial amount of damage he wanted onto any targets. Pickles just gets high on out of there, slippery as he ever was, and, well, it was at least a play. They managed to make something happen. Now we might see a bit of a counter-aggression out of MANDEM here as well from Valley. Very aggressive position, but not quite committing to it just yet.
Yeah, I think they're pretty happy to just sit back and probably even all the way into a reset. I think they've kind of decided at this point they're just gonna absorb the aggression and then try to go for some counterplay, and they are not having it on forfeits. They're gonna do another one of these, but Pickles not even want to use it. He's just gonna sacrifice his demo man. He doesn't even want to use on Balder either. He's just milking it so hard.
Doesn't have to. Finally he uses it, but that's when everybody on forfeits is already all around them, so they're just being stared down by an invincible Balder who's quite angry, really, that he just watched his demo man friend die just mere seconds ago, and, well, Juxta and Shay managed to escape at the very least, but that was all she wrote for that four-fence push. It just did not quite go how they wanted to. Nemo not quite hitting the shots he wanted to, trying to get Pickles to pop early, and that's all she wrote.
Pretty interesting how they kind of just deciding that we can't do these suicide waves, so we're just gonna Uber exchange in. And so far that decision has not worked out at all. Soldier's gonna jump in here on Pickles, unable to get onto him, gets taken down immediately, and Drove is gonna meet the same fate, goes down. And Uber's actually been popped here on Juxta. Pickles is not in
not in a great position, yeah. It worked. You know what? Maybe that's what they were going for. They were trying to like disconnect the Ubers a little bit so that they would have an advantage here to work with, and maybe a bit of cockiness out of MANDEM, maybe a bit too overeager, was all it took for them to have a chance. Unfortunately, they forgot about CR7 behind them. Hans is on the point, and he's just going for a back cap, and Brugman is trying his absolute damnedest to stop that from happening. Dwo is there to back him up as well. They do manage to
1 HP.
halt that, and Hans still lives on 1 HP,
Look
running
how fast
behind.
that is with the skill stick.
Unbelievable.
1 HP. At the maximum speed. I think that's almost scout speed. I don't know the exact thing. He's still somehow fighting and alive. That's kind of crazy. Usually soldiers aren't very survivable when behind lines. Scouts are pretty good at it, but soldiers not so much.
Surely Brugman finds him finally. He's alive on 2L again. Okay, finally. He's dead. God damn. All of that. Just in the meantime, you have Inza on a sniper on second as the Frenchies push in, trying to grab some ground here as best they can. They do manage to take second off the hands of MANDEM, but unfortunately lose Alien for it. He was just a bit too extended and disconnected from his Uber charge, and yeah, they will not be able to really round out his cap, especially with Juxta in a bad position. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Fancy's actually gonna get that kill. He's just gonna blow himself up, and Juxta's gonna escape pretty much unscathed completely, somehow, throughout all of that. Now Pickles has an Uber, and he's surfing like a champ, but yeah, they're staying in control of second for now, MANDEM. Somehow.
Yeah, both demos just suiciding in there, getting owned. I mean, Fancy didn't even do the classic 70 hit points, self-damage pipe. Good stuff. There's a fight, nice little rocket there coming out of KN. Gonna get the kill on movement. Here comes the force out. Juxta needs to run for his life. There's only 3 players alive. This scout looks like he's gonna get taken down. Yep, Nevo is down. Nice pipe from Alien to save his medic, but this scout's gonna come in here as well. Hits another pipe. And a soldier as well. Can Alien take on the entire world?
Alien the Juggernaut trying to do his best to just protect his medic from every danger in the world. A bit of backup by Brugman as well, just to allow Juxta some breathing room and escape for the time being. He's gonna get his Uber, they're gonna have it ready. Unfortunately, they have no presence on second right now besides Che in the forward spawn as a heavy, who has just now decided to return back to base. And, well, they have a bit of aggression now to try and get these MANDEM players off the point, but the longer they wait, the longer that Uber ad is dwindling, and MANDEM are aware of it as well. They're not committing too much to this. They know that they're going up against this Uber ad, and they don't want to have to face terrible consequences if they were to stick around for too long. So they're just going to back up to mid again as well, and take it back to an even stalemate situation.
Kind of surprised that they didn't go on this tiny Uber ad, because we've seen so many times now that they've gone for the Uber exchanges. And, Uber exchanges work a lot better if you have 10% ad, you know? Like, it just gives you a higher chance of it working, I feel like. So if you're gonna go for that kind of play anyway, you might as well have a small ad to work with.
Well, evidently, they're maybe getting some cold feet on the side of 4-fence. They're not eager to extend too much. They want to take this a little bit safer, and even with MANDEM trying to make some pressure here, they're just not able to bust quite into this second point, get the grounds they wanted maybe to force an exchange out. So back to square one for them. But with the time ticking down, even if they're just 2 rounds up, or much rather for the side of 4-fence, if they're 2 rounds down, 13 minutes left is plenty of time, but you're starting to get into a little bit of time crunch. And there's a bomb in by Hans. Managed to get 1 rocket onto Juxta, but Juxta serves it away just flawlessly. Manages to live just fine, and there you go. Nobody else. No aggression by MANDEM to follow it up either. Means he's in absolutely no danger whatsoever going forward.
Yeah, some good jukes there from Juxta. That makes sense. It's like that, I don't know if you saw that rocket from Hans, but it was nowhere near him. Like, he thought he was going somewhere else. So good strafing there coming out of Juxta. No counterplay at all though. They're just kind of sitting back here on 4-fence. Didn't find the opportunity to send in a counter sack. That's a bit unfortunate, I think. You really want that. And the rock trap Gets the scout. Sword's going to immediately jump in. Catch the demo man. Never mind. He's the one getting picked down.
Jay trying to follow up doesn't work either, and the Uber finally comes out of the side of forfeits as they make their way into mid. Unfortunately, the entire enemy team is just wrapped behind them. They're on second, buddy. You're going the wrong way, and they still have a full Uber on this point as well. Now they have the high ground. You're attacking your own second point from the wrong side on the side of forfeits. They have to somehow make these MANDEM players leave. The Uber has been popped out of Pickles. Fancy is very disconnected from it, so he will be picked off. But that is all she wrote for the time being. Never mind, there goes Pixels as well. Pickles as well, as the Uber is faded. It's going to be an all-out scrap, no kills for either side. And in terms of DM, it does look like it's going the Frenchies' way for the time being. Into this pickup alien on the flank though, so could still go either way.
They're a lot more healthy right now on
full
offense, but there are going to be some spawners coming in pretty soon in favor of MANDEM. I got confused because they're all tagged up as forfeits. I was like, wait, what am I looking at? I thought I got like my spawn waves wrong or something. I was like, oh, my brain is broken. But no, they're just being annoying.
Well, we do have Bonds on the Spy.
Ooh. Yeah, that's
committed to that.
Thing. And I
haven't seen that much out of him, yeah.
We haven't seen any offcasts at all, which is kind of weird. Usually when people are resorting to doing Uber exchanges, it means that they've kind of tried all the off-classes, tried all the sack wave, you know?
They went straight to plan D. They didn't even try the first 3 plans. They just went straight for the contingency at the very end. But it looks like Hans wants to switch things up a little bit. The round is about to end, matter of fact. So they could just go for a round reset here as well out of the side of the Frenchies, which might very well be what they're trying to do at this point, knowing that they could try to push or they could just go for another mid-fight, which they seem to be so proficient at on this map so far. So I wouldn't necessarily blame them. I guess what I was going to say as well is that they seem to be trying to go for the exact thing that was screwing them over. Hans did get flashed for a second. Okay, well, he gets spotted. They were trying to maybe go for, like, see if they can make MANDEM make a mistake and then try to, you know, benefit from it. The problem is MANDEM aren't really making many mistakes. So it's not really, that's not just really work for them. So yeah, I guess they're just playing for round reset.
You know, because Spy didn't really make a lot of sense in that situation. So that's when Spy works. Oh my god, this choke is just getting spammed out so heavily by Fancy. They were trying to muscle their way through here on full fence, but no. Fancy was just not letting them. Yeah, there's going to be some sword. There's actually going to be an Uber exchange here.
Pop push. No. They couldn't get to the point in time. Well, there you go. There's going to be a round reset. I guess Forfen's just comfortable, waiting on second, going for another mid-fight, reset completely.
There? Okay, look, I have to add, look, I'm sorry, but if you get onto the point, you have to take the Uber off, and you're immediately gonna die. What's the point then?
Top push. I mean, I guess MANDEM already knew they weren't gonna necessarily win the round anymore. But if they could prolong it and maybe go for something, it's the pop push, right? At that point, you might as well just send something. There's nothing to lose at that point, so you may as well. And yeah, well, they didn't have anything to lose. They're just gonna go into the next mid-fight, and maybe Forfens can once more prove that they have been very proficient with these so far, and continue that streak going forward, and maybe actually convert around off of it for once as well. That being said, for the time being, all they've done is shut Hans out of the mid-fight. Bushman goes in for a deep bomb, gets a little bit of damage to Pickles, but that's all she wrote. Jackson gets taken down as well on the other side in the meantime, with 12 falling. So it is all crumbling down for Forfens here. Only 2 scouts and alien left, and an entire healthy team of MANDEM staring them down. Hans comes in from behind, actually. Cleans up 2. Che gets taken down by Nestle, rocket from KN as well, and this is a disaster for Forfens. Oh boy.
Yeah, that was basically a perfect mid. They didn't lose anybody. The only bad thing to say about this mid from MANDEM is that they didn't win it quickly. So they're going to lose a bit of momentum, but they still have a lot of momentum working. They're pinning them right now. Just sticking them inside the spawn. They have broken out, but there's going to be an Uber just locking everyone in. Hans does get taken down. Yeah, they do have second captured up. They've taken their own left now. They're not putting pressure onto the point. It's slightly sticky, but not that sticky. Finally, we're going to get Inso on the point. Someone's going to jump on. We're trying to block, but it is too little too late. And that's going to be a 3-0 round. That feels like the nail in the coffin. It's technically not, but it kind of feels like that was the end of this game.
That seems like curtain call, yeah. We have 7.5 minutes left. It is completely plausible for Forfens to bring back 3 rounds in 7.5 minutes. It's plenty of time. The problem is, Well, they really gotta step up their game as well, gotta step up their pace, and stop making as many mistakes. They are looking solid, they are playing solidly, but they are just a little loose on some ends here, and that's gonna come back to bite them. Unless they play flawlessly for the next 7 minutes, we are not gonna be seeing them do anything. That being said, Bushman finding Pickles early on this mid-fight could certainly do something for them. Unfortunately, Juxta just gets pincered by the soldiers in Valley here, and they just crunch down everybody else as well. It's only Che left, all on his lonesome, and unfortunately going up against this flank combo of Hans and Boulder is not going to be nice to look at. So that's another one mid-fight for the side of MANDEM.
Yeah, Hans coming in through the backside, just catching everyone else in flowers when everyone else was jumping in from the front. That just sealed the deal there. Really good way to come back after losing their medic early on in the mid. It's like Bro wants to be pretty aggressive. He's going to take flowers, just make sure no one's hiding in there. They have pretty much retreated. They were waiting for some medic heals, and they have gotten them now. So now everyone from MANDEM are kind of moving in. Inzo does some really nice surf, not enough to save them from the rockets completely here, but they've gained a lot of space right now on MANDEM.
They're just trading out your scout for alien now, and a couple extra frags on
Pickles, by the way.
An extended chain bow as well, and the crits out of Pickles just for the chaos play. I love this guy. He's so chaotic. He does so many wacky things all the time. So we'll see how this affects the economy. Oh, I mean, they do have an Uber on the other side to respond with, so the crits is effectively nullified. It does not find much except the force, I suppose, out of Juxta. It's gonna be enough to maybe convert around anyway, as Hans manages to get on the point, get a little bit of cap time, lots of damage on Juxta as well. It's cleaned up by KN. That's all they really wanted. That's all they really needed. Pickles did live. He's got Inzo backing him up as well, and even if they lose the point here, they bought so much time for themselves. Now we're looking at 3 rounds in 5.5 minutes, and well, those 2 minutes bled away. Those were crucial for Forfence. They don't have them anymore, and unless they really pick up the pace, they're probably not going to be capable of doing anything to bring this map back at all anymore. It's just not happening.
Yeah, it's looking very comfortable right now for MANDEM. They're still nursing this giant crits advantage. That should be interesting to see. It got completely nullified, but it's a pretty classic example. Oh my god, that double soldier bomb somehow doesn't really kill the Devilman. That was weird. They had to sack in 2 more players to finally get fancy. So, I mean, I guess it's going to be a soldier with scout crits now. That should be
Boulder. Yeah, it's on Boulder. That's all it takes.
Hey.
You don't underestimate. Don't disrespect Boulder. My man has a vengeance right now.
He just got an achievement. You know,
oh boy.
Actually, he probably has it already, but you know, 1 little prick achievement where you get 3 crit kills on scout. You know, well, that's an achievement.
There you go.
You just got it. Well done.
There you go. That's 4-0 for MANDEM, and basically, if there ever was a final nail, that's the final nail right here. There's no way for Forfence to bring back Sunshine anymore. They can always hope for the second map. It's always possible. But we're going to be finding ourselves in 4 minutes of garbage time unless Forfence want to make it quick and, well,
Two with the fast roll.
Do as their name suggests, they do find a nice little opening frag there with Two killing Fancy. I mean, that certainly opens this mid up nicely for them. Unfortunately, it's going to have absolutely no consequences for them whatsoever. Because even if they win the round now, I guess it's a consolation prize at most.
Yeah, it might actually improve the mental going into the second map. So, hey, there's still something to play for, even if it's not points. Almost a big air shot. The saddest type of air shot. You know? Unfortunate there.
They have crits on the side of Juxta this time around. Never trying to do his best Boulder impression, manages to get the kill onto Fancy. Unfortunately, Uber comes out of Pickles on the other side, so even if there was anything to do with the tail end of their crits, it wasn't much. And well, they found 1 frag onto the demo, and now they have to try and win the post-Uber fight, which they're actually in a decent position to do. Dwo's behind, so he's going to be able to cut players off here. Boulder and Pickles both trying to make their way into lobby. They're going to have to contend with that guy. Well, there's aggression from the other side. They're going to have to try and opt for dungeon instead. Pickles somehow lives! My man is as slippery as ever, and nobody on Forfence wants to really chase through dungeon either, so they're just going to settle for capping second and trying to get this one consolation round that they've fought so hard to get at this point. Unfortunately, Intel's going to have a word with that and just walk into Juxta and kill him. So, it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon.
Nevo's going to go in onto last. He gets taken down there by Hans. Doesn't want to allow any shenanigans in there. And then Boulder's going to pick up Ruth as well. This is just another crunch. Everyone's getting flanked. Boulder just barely survives this as well, and they're going to start capping up the second. And meanwhile, Devilman and Soldier are holding each flank right now just to try and slow things down. no one's going to come in there to contest it, looks like, but they were ready for them, certainly. So ready.
They just don't want Forfence to have this one extra round. They don't want to. They want to have the pure mental domination of this match on the side of MANDEM. Well, they're certainly looking to have it now. I mean, Pickles does go down once more. Che manages to sneak in, get that little kill. Fancy gets taken down as well, actually. Okay, the scout's doing some work for Forfence here. Is it going to be enough, though, to bring them back this one round at this point? Not really looking like it.
95 crits, please.
Just pop it, let Alien do something, let Alien do anything, just pipe, my man, just lay pipe, that's all you gotta do. Oh no, it's shambolic, nothing's happening, no. Unfortunate, not even that. They can't have anything, man, they can't have anything in Detroit.
Alright, Jux is taking things into his own head, he's chasing down these scouts. I love how both medics are just permanently friends at this point, by the way. Good times. There's a minute and a half left. Yeah. It's all
That's what I like to see. It's all for the garbage time. So
Aliens in. Just fully in. And meanwhile, Dro's also in behind. Yeah. I wonder if he's on the jumper. He didn't seem to lose that much health. No, he's just landing it. Just no problem. Like, why would you be worried about landing in front of the enemy with the 84 health? Like, what are you even worried about?
Yeah, just if you kill the enemy, there's nothing to worry about. Anyway, it looks like we have another crit out of both sides? Was that crits out of both sides? Well, there was a bit of a massacre either way. So, everybody kind of just died, yeah. Unfortunately, more people died on the side of the Frenchies. And I think that counts it. If there was ever a chance, it has now passed. So, it's going to be 4-0 for the side of MANDEM on Sunshine. And we're going to be seeing if Forfence can keep their mental in check for the second map, or if they're just done. If they're just over it.
Baldur is shocking around. See if he can do a sneak roll monster. Yep, there we go. Take down Dro. Looks like he's gonna find a medic as well. Unable to get him. Bad luck there, Baldur. You'll get him next time. Jux is gonna live to tell the tale this time around. But meanwhile, everyone's just jumping in super aggressively, pushing everyone else out, and they don't even want to retreat. They just want to take this fight. And there we go.
There you go. That's it. Curtains on Sunshine. It's going to go the way of MANDEM. Not really unexpected necessarily. And, well, Forfence were putting up a bit of a fight in the first little bit, right? They lost a couple of quick rounds, but they did stabilize for a while. They just couldn't pull through. And here we are. They lost 4-0 anyway. So
I kind of honestly expected Forfence to get around it too, just going into this, to be honest. I think they're good enough to do it. So if you just tighten up a little bit and figure out how to deal with these stalemates, especially, that would be really, really good for them. And also just don't have the medic die with like 98+% a bunch of times.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, that's tragic. Absolutely tragic stuff.
Yeah, I mean that does probably contribute to it ever so slightly when you lose the Uber before you even have it, and as you can see in the logs, I mean it kind of spells the slightly one-sided nature of the game, but only in terms of like cleanup. That's a curious thing. The damage isn't too far off necessarily.
Yeah.
It is like 4,000 damage is a chunk, but it's not too far off all things considered. It's just that you can see clearly the cleanup is way better. way better for MANDEM. Just overall.
Yeah, like 4,000 damage in this kind of damage game. Like you can definitely lose that even if you do that much more damage just by being back capped or not cleaning up properly, or it's just all spam damage. But that's clearly not the case here. They had better team fights and really good cleanup, as you said.
Yeah, I think having Baldur go 32-8 does that to you.
Yeah, that's good. It's very good. Also,
not a surprise at all.
Yeah, like Hans was really good at coming in with the flanks. He was. There was so many times where I kind of thought that Jux was going to escape, and he had like 3 people around him, but then they just do that big collapse, and then Hans is behind them shooting them, so they can't properly retreat, and then they get completely demolished. So Hans, really good at getting into those good positions, making it work for his team, setting them up for success, and obviously having a lot of himself as well.
Yeah, like the flanking, the pincering, there was a lot of pincer maneuvers out of the side of MANDEM, very well coordinated, and it worked out virtually every single time. Either way,
Yeah.
we'll have to see how that changes on process.
Yeah, it's a pretty similar map. Like Sunshine has kind of sometimes derogatorily called just like process light, but there are obviously differences on the map. But the playstyles shouldn't differ that much. But I would say that process second is a lot easier to send suiciders in on than on Sunshine. So maybe Forfeits can finally just get that working. You know, if their suicide waves could actually become effective, then they're not going to take those weird just uber pushes in, and then they might have a lot better success. And also, sometimes it's just a matter of you have maps that you're really comfortable on, and if you're comfortable on any map, it's probably process. It's the most played competitive map there is. There's a good chance.
Yeah. At least it was for the longest time, definitely. However, you are going up against a team currently looking down, staring down the perfect season. They have yet to drop a map, or any points on a map for that matter, against anybody, even Witness. People will maybe say that MANDEM beating Witness in week 1 was a bit of a fluke, was a bit of an anomaly that's not supposed to ever happen again. We'll have to see in the playoffs, I suppose, if that is actually what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
But for now, MANDEM are still on course for a perfect season, and well, if there's going to be any team that can take points off of them, it's either going to be Forfeits or maybe Hubert's Angels next week. But out of the two of them, it's definitely Forfeits that's more likely to have a shot at it. And if you can be the team that took points off of MANDEM, that stopped them from having the perfect season, that's a consolation prize in its own right.
Yeah, I mean, if these guys are as petty assholes as I am, like, I would love to ruin a team's perfect season, you know? Like, there's nothing better. I feel like it's almost better than, like, if you're a kind of bad team and you ruin someone's team's season, that's almost better than having, like, just a slightly better season yourself, you know? Like,
yeah.
That's not as important as just ruining that really good team season.
Like, the mental aspect weighs way more than the points do in that part. Especially because Forfeits are pretty likely to make playoffs anyway. So it doesn't even necessarily matter how many points they get tonight. They're probably making playoffs regardless. So this is really just for the mental, for the bragging rights, for seeing how much you can get, probe your enemy's brains. So quick, before they start this first mid-fight beater, what's the scoreline at the end of the process here?
End of process, it's gonna be 5-1. That's my prediction for MANDEM.
All right. Fair enough. That's very, very reasonable. We'll see if Forfeits can actually get around, or if we're just going to continue seeing all the momentum of MANDEM snowballing down forwards as the first mid-fight is underway. Both teams staring each other down. Lots of cap pressure already out of MANDEM, actually. Finally, soldiers go across on both sides here. Juxta under a little bit of pressure, but finding himself mostly safe for the time being. Never mind, he's eating a lot. Enzo has that on the other side, but they find Juxta. They managed to clean up Haunt at the very least, but now they're scrambling for Forfeits. They have to try and make something happen. They have to find Piggles here. Samo, Kayan, and Piggles have rotated into their own choke, and they do find the med, crucially. Kayan still left behind, but, well, they know he's there. They know where to deal with him, and it's not going to be much of a threat immediately, so they know how to deal with that guy. Well,
they just need to pick up the medic, and that's the only issue right now. Like, obviously, Kayan's gonna try to see if he can get out there.
No, don't let him get this. Okay. There's no way he gets away with those, but... scary for a second, you never know.
Yeah, he gave it a good college try. You got to give it to him for that alone. Like, I'm kind of surprised Juxta even went out of spawn. If I was a medic, I would just be, like, sitting in spawn with having fun. Yeah, no. I'd take 0 chances. I'll just go... Yeah, sit in spawn, go sniper, just look out there or something. But no, he actually trusted his team. And rightly so. Well, why is Alien alone in? Alien just went in alone?
What? He was alone in choke, and Enzo just went, ran him down, and now he's on mid. Okay, well, that's a bit of a... That's more than just a leak. That's more like a gash and wound, really, at that point. You're just leaving your demo all unprotected like that. That's bad for Forfeits. They're back on their second off the back it out alone. I mean, to be fair, MANDEM did have a slight ad as well. They do have this Uber first, so even then, they would have been at the short end of it regardless, but they're going to be trying to re-aggress, and they do get their Uber in a little bit earlier. actually a little bit better for friends on the side here. Pickles had to flash a little bit more, so the Uber fades first for him, but it doesn't matter because the positioning makes up for it, and it looks like throughout all that, MANDEM still somehow managed to cap the point off and come out on top of the frags for the time being. They managed to grab 2. Fancy is left alone, but it doesn't even matter because he just frags anyway.
Yeah, Alien just completely blew himself up on there, and Juxta might not be able to get out of this alive. Nice little surf there. He's so close to spot, but his scout, just barely gets the resupply bind. That's gonna save him. So some good news here for Juxta. He's having some success getting out alive early on in this map. That's where he really struggled in the beginning of last map. But good stuff there. Even Ubers now should be pretty difficult to push out of, but they did lose second for it. And again, it was one of those just an Uber exchange that didn't work out for them. I would really love to see them not do them anymore. Because they're not.
Yeah, well, they're trying to maybe go for the Unpause on last year. Che does get a nice little shot onto KN. Alright, they bothered both soldiers. And they didn't get anything with it. Alien does die though, which I don't know how the hell that happened, but I guess he was caught on the other side. And Enzo goes down to the sentry as well. Actually, yeah, we're just gonna have Dwo walking into lobby, cleaning up Fancy. What's going on with MANDEM right now? They're just dropping like flies. Pickles manages to escape narrowly, and he's probably gonna be fine, but still, that's yeah, they kind of just lost that. They just dropped one player after another, maybe got a little bit too eager after losing both soldiers to a sack play that didn't work out, and there you go. Valfriends retake second off the back of it, as KN tries to bomb in, maybe get some ground. Bit of follow-up by Boulder as well, well coordinated. There's the other bomb from the other soldier. And what a shot! Oh my god, Juxta! You gotta respect those! You gotta right-click, man! Oh!
He didn't believe that Hans could hit him, but he absolutely hit him. Really beautiful pressure there. And Hans hits the shot.
Hit him with the NS. Hit him with the NS. That's fair enough.
I respect this there, yeah.
It's so over. It's unbelievable. What a shot out of Hans. Beautifully done. That's going to get them this point for sure. With Pickles popping that Uber now. They're going to take off that left side immediately. Essentially, level 1 on the right. That's ambitious, I suppose. Uber has faded. There's a little bit of cap time, but there's also a lot of defense actually out of forefront. Somehow they are hanging on to this by their teeth, and they are defending this point somehow.
Great defense there on last. They got a little bit over eager there. Pickles, he's going to see if he can get out. Okay, they're not actually chasing him. The respawners will come in there and secure his safety. But, yeah, really nice hold there from forefront. Like, that was an absolutely, like, bone-crushingly depressing moment to lose your medic in that fashion. And then you're just going to get rolled over, right? But no, the fact that they managed to hold on shows some really great perseverance there on forefront. So good stuff for them. Unfortunately, as I praised them, they immediately lose 2 players. Now it's going to be quite difficult to really hold back this aggression, and they have this Uber ad that they now cannot use. And they're basically just kind of in danger of being forced really easily and wasting this.
Oh no, Jux is on the point again, and Hans was jumping. Okay, I was having flashbacks. If I was Jux today, I would have flashbacks.
But they're scouting behind. That's no! Hans again drops him.
I can't believe he can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah, this time around, it was all about the scout that came in from behind. I don't know if it was Inso or Balder, but he got the medic so weak and looking at him, and then Hans just came in there, and then KN's going to hit a nice little air shot to just really give them the edge that they need to capture this out. Surely it doesn't go wrong this time around. They have scouts on the point. Demoman's going to just stick in, the soldiers spamming the point. There we go. 1-0. It took a while, but yeah. Absolutely huge plays coming in here from Hans to secure his team those first points.
Hans has Juxta on a leash right now. Like he's got that guy under control. He's like patched into his keyboard or like into his mouse and like unbound his mouse too or something. That's the only explanation as to what has happened twice in a row. Within 5 minutes, dropping Juxta twice is truly a phenomenal task. Either way, somehow the Frenchies are still in it in the mental. They're in the next mid-fight. They find Hans immediately. Now they're gonna have to just try and actually convert this mid-fight, and they're doing a decent job at it. I mean, just losing Hans early, losing Inzo now as well, it's enough for MANDEM to respect it and just get out of there.
And they want to keep on moving, yeah. They're not going to slow down. They captured out the point really early on, and now they're going to jump with the soldiers.
Oh no!
Immediately. Oh my god, KN wants to get in on the Juxta hate. Just jumps in there, 2 crisp rocket, takes him down. Actually, Pickles almost gets caught into a little enclosed area. He will manage to sneak his way out, though. doesn't get turned to bacon today, and now he has this full Uber to work with.
Well, Bo might have a word with it. He's gonna just jump right in. Actually, the boyfriend bomb, Bruchman is there as well. They fight Fancy and get the force out of Piggle. So at the very least, that Uber is no longer in play, even if both of the soldiers have to lay down their lives. Matter of fact, Nifo is in a bit of a tough spot here as well with Che. They're gonna trade out the ladder for Haunts before finally trying to escape. And now they're not doing a good job at that because the alien's gonna get picked up. Nivo's gonna have to just try to escort his medic away here. And somehow, with all of that, Juxta actually comes out with a bit of an ad on the top of it, but only ever so slightly. Piggles is already up again. He's got his Uber building straight up way, so it's not that much to write home about at all.
Shay might be just thinking some sniper. As we have another soldier bomb in, these are scary.
Ooh, Piggles dies on the other side. Bo managed to make it work.
Our control point.
That's what
really good.
matters.
Yeah, this is a bit of their own medicine here, getting their medic destroyed in this push. And they're trying
Juxta,
to
please. Juxta, okay. I saw Juxta walk first out of the shutter, and I was about to have a heart attack. It doesn't matter because they got backcapped, but like, just as that was happening, I swear to God, like Juxta, he's gonna make me have a heart attack. He's actually gonna. Bro's putting me on life support, I swear to God. It didn't matter, because they got backcapped, okay? But Bro was walking through the shutter while getting spammed. Very ambitious. At least he right-clicked that time, but still.
Yeah, small victories. We take these really aggressive play here from the False soldiers trying to take the high ground, but kind of gets spammed off pretty much immediately after that. But they hook back on it though. Ooh, nice shot there from Bruchman. Takes down Baldur. That's a huge deal. And now they're just going to push across it with the Demo Man, super aggressive. Piggles is weak. He's on 30 HP. Can't get out. Gets taken down. Oh my God. Can Fancy manage to get the medic? He's so close. He wants to get those pipes onto him, but no. Juxta survives. And that's going to be a bounce back mid here from Forfend. Really nice rocket from Bruchman. I kind of feel like that's the main thing, killing off a scout like that. That was the
matter of fact, not just killing off a scout, killing off Boulder like that.
Yeah.
Our control point.
He's kind of an important player for the side of MANDEM, I think. Bro he doesn't die, he frags a lot. I would almost argue he's their most important player, and if you can take him down, that's all the more. Matter of fact, he might even be main calling. I know he was main calling for the Swedish team last season, so there's a certain chance that taking him out of the equation is always going to be quite helpful. And well, they're in for this last push on the side of Forfend. They managed to find nothing but the sentry for the time being as the other side of MANDEM rotates on the left side, but there's so much cap time and there's barely any presence for MANDEM on the point. Finally, they get a little bit of there, clean up some Forfend's players, and it is enough to make the rest of the Frenchies retreat in fear for the time being, as there's actually a lot of chase out of MANDEM as well. And it looks like they're just gonna have to give up all the ground they have now. Nevo's trying his absolute best to maybe get a cheeky overextended frag here, but Juxta is just gonna find himself overextended on his own, and if he's not careful, and just manages to escape for the time being. So they do stabilize instead of Forfend, but that last push definitely didn't go the way they wanted. And now there's Uber on the other side.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too slow. They got the sentry, and then it just took too long for them to either put time on the point or actually pressure up on the left side. They just jump both soldiers one at a time into a heavy. Both soldiers want to get out. I think that was a direct from KN onto that soldier in choke. That was pretty cool looking, but also pretty funny. It was just a spam rocket, but it looked real good. As we have another Uber exchange where everyone's going to jump back out after this gets popped. And now Shay, can he chase anything down? Not quite. But we might get a re-push here.
Oh yeah, Hans is gonna bomb in immediately. Gets denied any sort of ground though. Anti-air flak deployed. Nobody's gonna. Never mind. He's gonna be just flying in. Okay, he doesn't get any kills though. Fair enough. Fair enough. They managed to protect their combo from the threat of CR7 running them down, and it's actually maybe good enough for Forfend to try and re-aggress here. They're certainly not giving this point up without a fight. They want to stay on this second. They want to have a chance at retaking this immediately. As KN again jumps in the combo, doesn't really do much besides a bit of damage on Alien. But now MANDEM are feeling reinvigorated. Hans immediately on Juxta's tail once more, but Juxta serves it well enough. Is not in any immediate danger. Stays alive. And matter of fact, he's doing a phenomenal job at keeping most of his team alive as well right now. It's just very scattered for both medics to try and do their best here. And they managed to keep most of their team alive as well.
Bo is coming in on the flank here. He's on the medic. Just barely misses it. Unfortunate timing there from him. That was a good try from him.
But he lives.
Yeah,
he lives.
Completely worth it then.
Fair enough. It worked out. You lost Che way earlier as well, so it wasn't even that much of a disaster, all things considered. You already had a scout down, and it didn't even matter. Matter of fact, scout in
soldier
question
bomb incoming.
is now actually a sniper.
Oh.
And it's gonna be interesting. Okay, we'll see what Shay can do here. This is an interesting position to snipe from, because it is an equal situation at the end of the day. If you can catch somebody off guard on the side of MANDEM here, it could happen.
Wind on the flank, though.
Nah, yeah, that's not gonna work.
That flank could have really used the scout, you know?
Yeah, Two dying on his lonesome is really gonna just open that right up. Enzo manages to sneak in all the way behind, and that opens it up wide. And there you go, Forfans are relegated to holding last once more.
The control point is being captured.
Yeah.
If they're unlucky, they might even use their Uber here, Kane. Oh my god, don't let
10
him overdose.
HP. He's gonna have
Juxta,
to right?
Juxta, my man!
I'm gonna have a heart attack. Sorry.
Maybe he needs the adrenaline rush. Maybe he needs it. Maybe that makes him play better. I don't know. It's certainly working out. He didn't die that time, so it worked out.
I hope he's more calm than me. That he's not just screaming as he's dodging these pipes in mumble. Because that's how I feel. You know, like just the internal voice screaming as I see these pipes just barely miss. Oh, Alien's gonna find a bullet.
Yeah, he's gonna catch that KN sniper with his skull, and that opens it up quite well, actually. Go gets taken down as well, even if they find Haunted in response on the other side. That is a playmaker taken out, but he's still gonna deal with that sniper. You don't want to give him any tight lines. Chang is counter-sniping on the other side, manages to get a headshot onto something, but it is not enough to get a kill. And there's just camp pressure out of Enzo. The sentry is even covering the point, and nobody goes for it either on the side of Forfans. They completely forgot that there's an objective that they have to hold.
Yeah, it's so difficult though. You gotta, you just acknowledge that as well, because there were only 3 players up and there's so much pressure going on. They need to deny the sniper, and then the scout just snuck in from the side, took a knee on the corner of the point, and it was just too much for them to handle. But it's pretty funny that they lost about Bobby
yeah, sometimes you don't need it. Oh wow, Pickles goes down early. Nice little spam from Alien. Is gonna put a dent on that one. That's certainly gonna slow down MANDEM's mid-expansion here, perhaps. I mean, they're certainly putting a lot of pressure on trying to get anything else on the other side. They find Dwo, and Enzo has flanked behind. It looks like Forfans are a little paranoid. They seem to be aware that there might be something going on behind them, so they do know what to deal with, and they're gonna be moving perhaps even a little bit more forward, as they have won the mid-fight at the end of the day. And they have a prime opportunity to finally put a damn round on the board throughout this entire match. This would be the first time they have a good chance to do it. They just gotta actually convert it. Enzo is still behind as well, being a bit of a menace. But honestly, he's out of the fight at this point. It doesn't even matter, even if there's 2 people chasing him. Let's see how this goes. This last Uber push, because is on the crits, which is ambitious, I suppose. But I don't think he'll get it before it becomes relevant, because either Forfans clutch out the fight now, or they lose morale miserably before the crits ever comes into play. And it looks like it's the latter.
Oh,
no.
It's a game of into sometimes you just lose it. It's unfortunate. So it will actually become relevant that he has crits. When you push out like this, you kind of don't want crits, but a nice little air shot there from KN. Gonna take down Dwo with some help from Balder. And they're getting a ton of kills. They haven't even popped their crits yet. I think they just kind of want to go. Just move in here. Because as soon as someone gets close, you can just pop his crits and kill people.
That's what Bushman's trying to do, is just trying to get the medic in general, and Pickles is holding on to it. He's holding steady. I mean, at the end of the day, even if they get another Uber now, if you can snipe it out, sure. You were gonna have to try and use it. They are aggressive. Fancy gets the crits, but he doesn't really manage to connect anything for the time being. And yeah, Juxta is not gonna take any risks there. He's not gonna take any chances. He's gonna just right-click and keep that going the other way. And they find a couple of soldier frags off the back of that immediately. Now they just gotta keep chasing. Enzo gets taken down as well. All right, it's actually looking pretty decent for Forfans.
Yeah, Forfans, they were getting chased down. Now the roles have reversed. Now they're the ones doing the chasing, trying to get everyone off the spire. Soldier jumps in. Blueprint, unfortunately, not really able to find what he was looking for. And the medic comes down. Juxta dies. Everyone else is dead. Alien's going to try and see if he can jump out, but there is a scout trying to pistol him down. Soldier's even kind of jumping.
No.
Oh,
he wins those. Alien wins those. There you go. Easy juggle. Doesn't even matter if he dies now. That's all that matters.
KN drops the soldier, you're down 3-0. I love it.
Very based. If you're down 3-0, just taunt anyway.
Oh, Chris has been popped.
There's a crit in play. unfortunately, it doesn't seem to connect with anybody. I think that crits did a whole weapon 0 damage, so that's lovely. That's great news.
That was like a surprise crits.
Element of surprise always works.
Yeah,
like, sometimes.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite things to do as medic. You know, when I'm just playing mixes, whatever, just like do a jump scare crits for my teammates. You know, we just have crits, and all of a sudden I just pop it, and they just panic. It's really funny. Don't do it. Don't do as I do.
No, actually do though. It would be very funny. It'd be kind of hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
It'd be really funny. We should do it. Anyway. 4 friends have stabilized. Pickle still has their crits though, and even if they get the Uber now, they are gonna have to use it. Let's be walking into death immediately, so let's see if they can do anything with this Uber as they chase out all these MANDEM players. They do find Fancy. That's a prime target for the crits eliminated. Inzo gets taken down as well. But Boulder is still alive. And it's probably a prime target now, but they're gonna be waiting. They're gonna be backing off. They still have their crits ready though. They're just waiting basically for 4 friends to get eager. There you go. There it comes into Boulder. Except he's not really getting the frags he wants to right now. Okay, he gets 1 kill onto Nevo, and that's about it. He managed to deny Boojman as well, but that's all they got of it. It's a zoning crit for the most part.
Yeah, not the most acceptable one. Double sorted bomb comes in to take down Pickles, and enough damage goes around as well that everyone else is getting slowly bled off here. However, they do lose a lot of players. They only have 2 fragging classes left, and Juxta is alive. That means he can pump out heals while everyone else from MANDEM, all their damage is permanent, and they're going to have to back off here. This is actually a really great situation. As long as they don't lose Juxta and get him popped early, they can just wait for their respawners to come in, and then they can do a full Uber ad, and hopefully they've learned enough from their last failed push that this time around, they're going to do it.
This time for sure. This time for sure. I mean, I don't want to get ambitious, but there you go. Same old through once more, seeing if maybe, just maybe, this is the one. They do get a little bit of cap time. They find a sentry early as well. Now they got to contend with the post-Uber fight, though, and there's a heavy on the high ground on the right side, laying down a lot of pain, but maybe it doesn't matter. They can just get the cap edged out, and that's all it took. Boojman comes in for the cleanup, gets that final bit of cap, and there you go. 3-1. They're back in the game on the side of 4 friends. This is where the comeback starts.
I'm so happy. They deserve that. They've been enough in this game that they deserve to have a point here. So now we just need to see MANDEM get 2 more rounds, and I look like a genius.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if that is actually what happens, I suppose, as this next mid-fight is going to go underway, and it's immediate aggression out of both sides, just taking the other team's side, really waiting in IT as well, knowing there's going to be people walking in front of him. Pickles needs a lot of damage. Both soldiers are going to chase down that kill while they lose their demo on the other side with Alien going down. They find Kayan as well, and the teams have officially rotated sides. They're now on the other team's side, except the mid is very much going in favor of MANDEM right now, because Nevo has to somehow protect his medic against 4 people now, which is a very tall order, especially when you're backing up into the enemy team's spawn. You're going to be met with respawners any second now, and now you're fighting the whole team as a single scout medic. And oh my god, 98 again, and it's the headshot as well, just to add insult to injury. Honestly.
Yeah. Man, poor Juxta, man. It's been so many near Uber situations. They really did their best to try and get that Uber out there. Unfortunately, Soda jumps in very aggressively. He's going to try and see if he can shut down these chokes. Actually, he spots the sniper, so that's some pretty valuable information, and then even spams him out a little bit. Closes off that gap. So Shay, unable to get out there, get a peek onto Pickles. And now Pickle's gonna have a pretty big ad. It's not even the crits, but yeah, look at that. Kayan will get taken down. This is pretty nice. Getting a pick ahead of an Uber ad push like this is extremely nice.
Yeah, that's certainly going to slow things down a little bit, or at least put a bit of a wrench in the spokes for MANDEM, perhaps. Even if they are going to obviously take as much ground as they can with the Uber, they have yet to put any pressure on the point. Finally, they do, and there has to be counter pressure from 4 friends, but it's not there! Nobody's there to defuse that situation at all! They're just too slow to get out of spawn. They're shut down too much, and well, that's another round for MANDEM.
Yeah, really good job there clearing the stickies, and then scouts are just immediately on it, and that kind of quick play. You snooze for one moment, don't really realize what's going on, you just lose instantly. So that's going to be 4-1 now for MANDEM. One more round and they will have won this, and they will only be one match away from a
Forfans
perfect
can
season.
still win. They can still win. They've just got to play flawlessly for the next 8 minutes, and they've got it. Never mind, Alien is already dead. There goes Bruce as well, but they find Inzo on the other side, I guess. But they're trying to lay down a lot of damage onto MANDEM here. They're fighting it, actually. They find Pickles crucially, which means no heals remaining for Boulder or KN. Unfortunately, neither are Nevo or Juxta connected as well. So, yeah, Juxta is just a sitting duck, and Nevo now has to fight 2v1. Managed to get KN, but Boulder is not a fight you want to go up against necessarily, and he gets psyched out. He wasn't looking the right way, so
That's
how
a
it
4K
happens.
for Boulder on that, man. Solid. Looks like he wants to make it 5. Oh my god, all those pistols hit. Sometimes this pistol spread works out for you, I guess. Or maybe you just need to be good.
The control
Not sure.
point is being contested.
Yeah, well, he's kind of good, so maybe you're onto something here. Maybe you figured out like the secret to actually having a pistol be good. You just gotta aim.
Nah, my pistol spread is just bad. Shut up.
Sure. That's what you
Yeah.
keep coping.
Yeah,
Sure, buddy.
Pickles has pretty big ad. Well, not the biggest ad, but it's something you could actually push off if you really want to. They're building very aggressively as well, and they're not really peeking or putting pressure on. So that kind of tells me that maybe they would actually want to go for some kind of push, but they're just not moving out. They're extremely stationary right now on MANDEM. It's pretty funny to look at.
Maybe expected Juxta to have more Uber by now or something like that, so just respecting it too much, but at the end of the day it doesn't really matter all that much anyway, considering they're up 3 rounds, so realistically they have already won the map. They're just stalling for time to see if they can pad their logs a little bit more, get a couple more fancy air shots or something like that, and there you go. Speaking of fancy, he's about almost got air shot by Bruceman. Dangerous situation to just leave yourself alone in a choke like that, but Forfans aren't going to be able to just capitalize off of that that easily. They're going to have to actually fight if they want to put another round on the board here.
We've had a lot of highlight shots so far in this game. Dodges in this time around fancy. But there's already a lot of people in this match that's going to end up in a frag movie. I can tell you that much. But yeah, right now they're just playing it very slow. You can see KN, he's kind of... Okay, finally goes in here. Actually, he finds a soldier on the flank. That's really nice. Dro is also fighting a scout and a soldier inside there. It looks like he actually kind of comes out ahead.
Che uses it as well. Uses to Hans as well. It's so over for Forfans. I mean, they get the later Uber here, I guess, but that's just solely because, well, Zola, like Juck said, anybody else to pop on. He's only got 2 people, and he's barely doing his best to keep those 2 alive. Boulder has already slipped in behind, gets taken care of, and they've given up second. It's over. They cannot even try to reaggress this unless they find another crucial frag immediately. It looks like getting them off the point helps, certainly, and with Pickles now basically pincered between a rock and a hard place, just gets shut down immediately. Fancy on the other side is trying to do the exact same. He's on 4 HP, and it looks like nobody's really trying. Okay, Brugeman is trying to go for him, but he's getting cut off by KN, and now Fancy is somehow still alive in enemy lobby. I don't really know what's happening. I don't really know how he's getting away with this. As any of the Frenchies decided to look where the demo is, okay, finally, Nemo finds him. God damn. Too bad Inzo's there to back him up immediately. Oh, damn.
This is real chaotic right now. This is just every angle you can think of is just being pressured. Finally, it looks like they cleaned up all the people in the back so they can properly move forward. And that's going to be mid going right now. For Forfans, they have the Uber ad, they can move on that as well. Should be enough to go on. You can see right now Pickles is holding really far back. And Soldier tries to jump in the choke there in the skybox one, but unable to do it. And a lot of people go down. Alien again. Alien just does these really aggressive jumps when he dies. It's funny.
Yeah, well, at least he sometimes accomplishes something with them, so it's not like it's a lost battle completely. Unfortunately, this time they're really missing that position from the demo, man. Even if they got both soldiers, Forfans are not in a great position right now, and Juxta might just be forced to use here just to keep his remaining 2 players alive. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of a better Uber for Pickles, even if it fades sooner, just because he's got more meat in between himself and the immediate danger. And that's all it really takes to get these Frenchies to back up completely, especially with Juxta going down now as well. It's only Nevo, and misstrike that, it's only Alien left, and he's on a sliver of HP as well, so...
Oh, they want to chase down Alien so badly there. I don't know what Soldier was trying to do, a skip jump inside that really tiny enclosed area. But yeah, it didn't work out. That door is difficult to skip jump through, like speed jump through. I admire the attempt here. Second point is going to be pressured out here pretty easily. Juxta, he knows that there's about to be an Uber just getting shoved down his throat. So he's sitting back. Shay's going to be sniper again. We saw him get some nice picks before. Uber's actually out pretty deep. Get something, but no, Uber does come in.
That's all it takes, potentially, for MANDEM to round this out before the timer runs out, and as it stands, they're certainly trying their best to do that. They do find one frag onto Brugman, but that's all she wrote for the time being. They have to win exposed to it, right? Piggles goes down, so does Kane and Hans, and frags are falling either side. Juxta has the heal still, but he has to actually get his players to the point, and that's not gonna happen. So there you go. MANDEM make it 5-1. Your prediction was spot on, and we even had 2 minutes to spare. So
beautiful. I get a lot of money for getting this right?
I mean, I'm not the one that hands out the paycheck, but you got to take that up with DumTum. I'm sure he's willing to.
I'm pretty sure that's in the contract somewhere that if you get the score right, you get all the money. All of TV's
How much
money.
is all the money?
Like $51 per year, probably.
My lawyers have advised me not to disclose this information.
Yeah. All right, I'm looking at some logs. Balder frags out again. This looks almost identical to what we saw on the other map. 33 and 9. Top damage 363. He's just on
Goodness gracious. Yeah, this is, as I'm saying, man, like, I don't want to gas the guy up too much, but he kind of is a very impactful player for MANDEM. He was already showing how good of a player he really was. Like, everybody was heralding him, right, last season. Everyone was saying Balder is a player you really got to look out for. And he was held back a little bit by being on the Swedes last season. Now you put him on a team where he's unchained, and bro's a beast. Like, you have a beast on your hands with Balder on that MANDEM team. You're putting down scout numbers not often seen at this point, especially considering this is the second season of Prem. Like, that's saying a lot.
That's kind of the most mind-blowing part, but he's kind of a newcomer. Yeah, extremely good. I also want to shout out Hans. Hans did some really good stuff. Obviously, dropping the medic twice in like 4 minutes. Really, really good. And just in general, I feel like Hans, these two maps, he was extremely impactful. And even though his stats were better on the last map, I don't feel like his impact were any smaller on this one. He just has Romer stats, so you don't notice it as much. But just huge playmaker for his team.
Yeah, so that's that. MANDEM continuing their perfect streak for the time being. One more team between them and the perfect, at least regular season. Maybe Hubert's Angels can be the ones to stunt it next week. Otherwise, they are gonna have full points headed into the playoffs, first seed, everything. And, well, to be fair, even if Four Friends didn't get the opportunity to take any points off of them, are probably still making playoffs anyway. So maybe they'll meet again. Maybe they'll have a second shot at redemption here somehow. It could always happen.
Yeah, almost definitely. I don't know how the playoffs are structured this year in ETF2L. It's different every year for some reason. Who knows what they've cooked up this time around? It's usually a reasonable format. It's just different somehow. But yeah, they're probably going to have to fight it out in playoffs, and we can get some real concrete, solid answers, and hopefully get some hearts broken in the process as well, just for fun. But I can't wait for that.
That's going to be fun. I mean, it's only a couple of weeks away, so we'll see how that shakes out. The more interesting part, the more interesting implications really are for that fourth playoff slot, because as far as I'm aware, there are currently at least 3 teams that can still make that slot. As far as I have awareness off the top of my head. I may very well be mistaken. It could only be 2, but there is definitely a chance that is the Joker slot. Right now, it's occupied by Garda, but Hubert's Angels are close behind, and TLR are not too far from it either. If they have a good last couple of weeks, somehow, against Witness, they could also make a run for it. So, who knows, right? Anything could happen.
Yeah, playing against TLR is playing against Virtus Brown TF2 right now, so if we assume they win, they'll have 16 points. So that kind of puts them near number 4. So kind of like between 4 and 6.
yeah.
Oh.
I guess we shouldn't just talk about it anymore. If that game is still going, we could just send people over there. Let me have a look if that game is actually still going, or they are still going actually.
Oh wow, they must have been really late.
Very much about to end. It's very close. Oh my god. We should send him over right away. Okay, we're done here. Bye.